Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. Joseph James, schooltrade.com. It's September 15th, 2010. We had another great day in our trade room, guys. Here's your live trading recap. Now before we talk about the trades we took today, took a handful of trades today. Of course, today was Wacky Wednesday, so we'll talk about that in a second. But I wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't been to the blog yet, up in the top right-hand corner of the blog, you want to click on Trade Room Resources. Brand new section of the blog, Trade Room Resources. While you're there, guys, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. You can see our YouTube page, our live support, guys. And don't forget, you can always search our blog. There's that handy search box up top there. If you have a question about range charts or what's the 3-strike rule or what about trade management, all right? You can find all of that under Trade Room Resources. Okay, you can also look under the search box there for any specific term you guys have. Let's see how we did today. Well, Wacky Wednesday today. Now, what's Wacky Wednesday? Wacky Wednesday is the Wednesday before options expiration Friday, so we expect it to be a little bit rocky out there. We did a pretty good job with it, though. We had 2 potential losses that we cut pretty early on Crude and Russell today, so that kind of avoided some of the downside risk of Wacky Wednesday. And our first trade of the day really kind of got us off to a good start here on Crude. We took a fast track trade along with our members this morning, made some nice money off that, good 40 ticks off the fast track trade this morning at 9 o'clock. Russell, Euro, and then of course we finished up giving a little bit of money back on the crude market late this morning. So Wacky Wednesday, we knew we had to be careful. We took 5 total trades, 62 ticks, 625 USD because of course we've got that Euro in there at 12.50 per tick. All right, guys, that brings our weekly total 2903. We did 1700 yesterday, so we really can't complain very much about the week right now. It's been a great first week back. We've got options expiration on Friday, remember, and this is quadruple witching. Okay, every quarter, you're going to have the end of the quarter, we've got quadruple witching where 4 different asset classes are expiring all at once. So everybody is getting into the party for opex on Friday. All right, now I also want to remind you too, our trade room will be closed on Friday. I gotta get some other stuff out of the way, and I've got to do it on a Friday, so I'm going to do it this Friday because it's quadruple witching. So this Friday, trade room will be closed. We'll be opening right back up as normal on Monday. I hate to be having the trade room closed anytime, but I apologize about that, guys. I'll make sure this is the last time we close the room here on a Friday before the end of the year. All right, guys? So trade room closed on Friday. We'll keep you guys posted the rest of the week here. We got 3473 now for the month, and of course, almost 136,000 for the year, guys. So what's the most important thing that happened today? Well, again, Wacky Wednesday. Okay, Wacky Wednesday, the Wednesday before options expiration. It's defined by large, unexpected orders filling the market, right, when we least expect it. So here's how it works. Okay, Saturday options expire, right? The 3rd Saturday of the month. Now, options expiration Friday, right, what we call opex, Friday is the last trading day of the week. Options expire the following Saturday morning. So of course, everything has to be done by the closing bell at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Now, imagine for a second you're a professional money manager. Right, you've got $100 gajillion under management, all right, and you're trying to figure out what's the best way to handle options expiration because you've got a lot of money in the market for your clients right now. Well, you're not going to show up Friday morning, all right, you're going to start working earlier in the week. In comes Wacky Wednesday. Now, Wednesday seems to be the worst day of the week. Thursday is usually pretty good, and Friday is typically going to be a couple hours in the morning, right, except for the fact that this Friday is quadruple witching. So this Friday is going to be kind of even worse. All right, 4 times a year at the end of each quarter, we have quadruple witching. All right, so it's not every single opex, it's just 4 times a year, and this is one of them. All right, we made some good money on crude. Crude was the most active today. But of course, with Wacky Wednesday and quadruple witching, we really had a hard time getting in with much confidence this morning because, of course, once we got into a trade, we quickly then saw it change direction and go against us. So I had to really be on my toes this morning with some of those trades. All right, so we knew what to expect. We were expecting a battle this morning with Wacky Wednesday. Crude made us some money, so let's get started with crude first. All right, here was the first. Well, we'll start first by looking at the slow time frame here on crude. Now, you'll notice here's my 34 range chart on crude. Right, this is a 34 range here on crude. This is a very slow time frame. Now remember, guys, my slow time frame goes out and finds all the important levels for me. Then my auto levels indicator, the indicator package, will then take all these levels and move them now over to my faster time frame where I can be a scalper, a day trader, real tight stops, right? Nice wide targets. So I'm not going to take my trades in my slow time frame. I'm going to use my slow time frame to identify the best trades that I can possibly take in the fast time frame. All right, now here's the situation we ran into on crude this morning. You can see here, choppy sideways range. We've got trend line up top, trend line down bottom, and as you guys know, I'm going to, of course, buy the lows, sell the highs, right? Guys, we've done this a million times now. The wedge pattern, right, like any other sideways range, channel patterns, wedge patterns, sideways range patterns, we're always going to sell the highs, buy the lows, and don't forget, right, to avoid the middle. Okay, so we're going to stay away from 76 here. Okay, 76 clearly is going to be something to avoid right in the middle of that wedge. And we're going to stay focused now on trading short, right, below 75, or buying long, pretty much here above 78. All right, guys? So we can, of course, trade inside the wedge, right, sell the highs, buy the lows, or we can wait till we break above, right, and buy the breakout. Once we really break above, right, 78 would be the level to look for there, and then below 75, to the downside. Now keep an eye on the lower right hand corner here because there's your dollar, right? Here's the DX. This is a 13 range chart on the dollar, right? Nice slow time frame. What do you see? I see sideways range, right? Sideways range. Nothing going up, nothing going down. Now what does the dollar tell us when we see this happening? In fact, this was probably the easiest signal we got all morning, and it was staring us right in the face. Sideways dollar, sideways everything else. If the dollar begins to break, remember what happened yesterday? Yesterday the dollar was dropping. And what do? We did 160 ticks yesterday. Okay, today the dollar goes sideways and we do 60 ticks. All right, guys, so next time you open your charts, grab a look at the dollar. If the dollar is going sideways, right, you know this may be a tough day. If the dollar is moving up or moving down, get ready for a great opportunity to make some money today. All right, guys, let's keep moving. Now, of course, we got the first trade of the day on crude. This was a fast track trade. Now, a fast track trade, I'm going to use this 13 range chart,